lot more than 25% of their business. It's closer to 45% of their business for the year, especially if we're talking about the retail sector. So you gotta get it right. And if it's not right, you gotta jump on it now.
Mm-hmm.
But the jump on it now is your strategy.
Well, and to expand on that, we were talking, about the content strategy, the 50, 30, and 20 rule, the 50% entertaining, interesting, and then you get to the 30%. That's where you have to be a resource. You have to be strategically think how you can be a resource and provide informational content to those, again, that you want to attract. And that's really important during this time, especially with the holidays, is how can
are you referring to more the strategists, coaches, accountants, in all of those things? Or are you talking to just the shop owner?
Everyone. You have to determine that. You have to really determine that. And as a shop owner, if you want to get information out there, now's the time, with the holiday season, start talking about some of your great offers that you're going to be providing during the holiday season. Start getting them excited about the different specific days, the Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all those days. If you're a nonprofit, you have Giving Tuesday. Start giving information out to your audience so that they start preparing. But again, 30% of your content needs to be informational. And so if you're sharing industry trends, if you're sharing, industry articles, all of that kind of content needs to be part of your strategy. And you need to put that like on a calendar of some sort and really mapping it out so that you're strategically thinking through how to attract the clients to you, prospects to you, that will start to know, like, and trust you and engage with you. It's all that strategy within the content.
It is, and it can be overwhelming. We know that.
Trust me, it is. It can be.
The whole thing that we're looking at here is you've got to be on top of your expectations.
Yes.
And that's more than your accounting numbers. Okay, that's the people that are going into your store. That's the people that are making the phone calls to your business. Those are the people that are calling Amazon instead of you. So you have to look at this and understand where your marketing's moving to, where it's going, how you're going to combat this. And let's talk about social media. The neat thing about social is it's live. It happens now. You press that enter key on your computer, there's no pulling it back.
That's true. That is true.
On that. So we have to do that. So you have to build your strategic plan looking at that. And your strategic plan always has that decision point again. Which way is it going to go? Where am I prepared? And we're at the point in time now that it's coming down, that it's the retail side of the equation. They've already decided, and they are beginning production now for all the Christmas stuff that we're going to buy next Christmas in 2017. They've already made the decisions. They're sewing the clothes. They're doing the mold injections on the toys. They're getting them ready to move because they ship from overseas in January. So are you that far out ahead of your business? Is that where your mindset is? This is where you're thinking? We just don't come in and do a show. We have guests that are lined up months in advance. And it does a couple of things. It makes the guests feel easier. They can listen to a couple of shows. They have time to build out their message. So these are all plans. It's like building a website. You have a vision of your website. How many pages does it take to build that? What type of wordsmith does it take? What type of imagery are you going to do?
Exactly. And, to finish off kind of along that same theme of content, the 20% then of your content in your strategic plan needs to be promotional. Yes, you can promote yourself on social media. Just want to be very careful not to sell yourself, but by promoting especially again with the holiday season coming. We need to start planning ahead now. If you're going to have some open houses, or if you're going to be doing any special events, even if you're going to be doing a holiday party for your clients, or even if it's in office for your employees, you need to start planning now so you can start putting that content together by putting together events. That is great promotional content that you can place out there on social media. Let people know what's happening within your business. Again, the whole premise of building out a formula and a strategy for your content is to resonate and definitely provide value to those that you want to serve.
Precisely. You know, you were talking about all this that we're doing. And we have a word for that. And that word is unselling. Or in our case, we like to say the art of unselling on that. And that's where you entice and motivate. Mm-hmm. Entice and motivate. And when we're looking at a strategy, your strategy is, I'm going to entice, I'm going to motivate, and I'm going to try to drive sales. Now, you have to look at that. There may be 4 or 5 boxes under each of those things. So if I'm trying to motivate, how do I motivate? I'm going to motivate women a little differently than I'm going to motivate men, and vice versa. If I'm selling clothing versus automobiles, I'm going to motivate a little bit differently in these. If I'm selling services, I'm going to motivate a little bit differently. You know, we're in the holiday season. Are you going to send out holiday cards, or are you going to assume it's too expensive? What's the strategic value of somebody getting a holiday card from you, especially one that's unexpected?
Right.
So when we look at these things, these are all subsets of strategies. So we have to get through all of these levels and all of these different incremental steps in order to make it a profitable venture, whether it's a holiday season or whether it's getting first quarter next year off. What's it going to be like? Have you gone and looked up with the retail expectations or the service expectations? They're all on the internet. Google them. You can find out what they're talking about. You know, this holiday season is not going to be as strong as last holiday season. Go look at the National Retail Federation and look at their numbers. These are things that a strategist does for you. This is not something that somebody that's coaching you on your business plan is going to do, but this is what a strategy does.
So what I'm hearing and talking about, you know, we've kind of all around strategy, the different way to apply it, you know, what it is, the importance of having a strategy. So summarize exactly. I'm going to put you on the spot here. No, I mean, just kind of in a simple message of the difference that having a strategy really makes for your business. Because I know you work with a lot of our clients that are struggling with getting the results that they desire through their online marketing, and you help them put together a strategy. So share just, you know, in simple format, a message and how you see what type of difference it really makes for a person to have with having a strategy in their business.
Yeah, you know, the difference is, in my mind, completely analogous to having a business plan and not having a business plan. You know, when you do not have a business plan, you wake up in a new world every day. You know, what am I going to do today? What's this? You know, you stick your finger in the air and, well, it's not raining, so I can go outside, and you do those type of things. And that may be very simplistic, but that's where we need to keep it. So we look at what's happening on our business plan. If our business plan is working, the strategy is, why is it working? Because I want to do more of it. If it's not working, what's the bottleneck in the middle of this thing? What's the catch point that keeps me from getting to my goal? And I want to identify that as soon as possible so I can try something else. Don't keep playing with something that's not working. Go in there and try something else. It may or may not work again, depending on the amount of time that you have to focus on it. I mean, we're into the holiday seasons here real quick again, and if it's not working, you may not have a lot of time to sit down for 6 or 8 weeks and ponder your precise next step because it's too late.
Exactly.
You know, we're into November. You know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all these things that's there. And on the third Wednesday before, I can't remember the date of that one, but it's all there on putting that there. And you've got to be able to have worked all these decision points out in advance. That's what you do when you build a strategy. It's not saying that the goal is bad. It's how do you implement the goal. And when it's working, you have to identify what made it work. If it didn't work, what didn't you do? Or if it sort of worked, that's a really hard one. You know, because now you do have a quandary, because then you have to identify the half that did and the half that did not. So when we start looking at that, that's what we have to do when we look at being a strategist, especially a marketing strategist. There's all kinds of strategists. I just like online marketing. That's my niche, and we've been in it since '98, and it's a little late to change in my mind.
Well, and what I find very interesting, because I've been together with you since you started your first company in 1998, and I've seen the process you've gone through with the different changes of the company, but also the evolvement, or how internet has evolved as over the years. So how difficult is it for one to really create that strategy for the year? How often, I should say, should they go look at their strategy?
Every time they pull out their business plan, they should simultaneously pull out the strategy. Now, that's an absolute. However, we look every month when we close out our month. What did we do? Okay, so we're going through our business point and we're checking, well, this was this goal, this was this goal, this was this goal. We hit this goal, we didn't hit that goal, we did this, we didn't do that. So the thing is, the strategy is, why did I not get it? Those are the easier ones to figure out. Okay. Why did it work? That's the strategy we want to emulate. So now you have to go in and dig through what you did and figure out, okay, this is actually what I did. This is what happened. And I've got all my points down on this now. Now I'm going to implement the strategy for next month and make it work.
Well, a question I have, and I've heard this from some of my clients, is, it's great for large companies that have a team to work together to really, review and evaluate everything. But what about us sole entrepreneurs? It's hard to be accountable to yourself.
Very, very difficult.
So what would a solution be for someone that does not have a large team? How can they hold themselves accountable and really see what the true results of a strategy, so they know what to do next?
You need to get yourself somebody that's going to be really tough with you, be polite and all of that, but be really tough with you and mentally hold your feet to the fire so that you have to answer questions, hard questions. Because, when you look at the accounting records, they're just numbers. But those numbers do have meanings. When you look at your polling that you do when people come in and out of your store, whether that's an online store or whether that's a brick and mortar store, you've got to find out what people think. What do they like? What do they not like? We walk into everything. We walk into certain restaurants. We buy certain clothes. Who do we buy our clothes from? The store that has the best fashions, the store that has the best service, the store that has the best price, the store that makes us look best. There's all kinds of decision points that we have to look at in this, and you have to figure out which one of them are applicable to what you are trying to accomplish in your business. And the strategist is the person that helps you design it and then helps you monitor it throughout the process. So it's kind of like having a coach super steroids because this coach knows all your secrets on the back end and the numbers, where your business coach may not. And that's why business coaches, they ask probing questions. They ask some really, really tough questions, but they don't have the details sitting there in front of them.
Well, if we have any of our